The skies above Tokyo darkened without warning. Dr. Maya Patel looked up from her quantum resonance experiments at the National Physics Laboratory, watching as massive ships appeared through what seemed to be tears in reality itself. Their surfaces rippled like liquid mercury, defying traditional physics as they positioned themselves above major cities worldwide. In Geneva, Admiral Helena Rousseau stood before the United Earth Defense Council, her weathered face illuminated by the emergency lights. The vessels appeared simultaneously across all continents, she reported, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. They've made no aggressive moves, but they've disabled our satellite networks and defense systems without firing a shot. The chamber fell silent as a resonance filled the air. Not sound exactly, but something that vibrated through their very consciousness. The Valari had arrived. They appeared as tall, ethereal beings of silvery light, their forms barely contained within what looked like crystalline environmental suits. Their leader, who called itself Harmony First Among Equals, spoke directly into their minds. Your species has achieved sufficient advancement to be worthy of integration into the collective harmony, it proclaimed. Resistance is unnecessary. Your biological structures will be enhanced to receive the neural network. This is evolution. Dr. Patel, watching the transmission from her lab, noticed something odd. While her colleagues seemed dazed by the neural broadcast, her mind remained remarkably clear. Years of working with quantum resonance had taught her to recognize patterns in wave functions, and something about the Valari transmission felt familiar. In military installations worldwide, a similar pattern emerged. Soldiers and officers trained in mental resistance techniques reported maintaining their cognitive independence, while civilians appeared increasingly susceptible to the Valari influence. Admiral Rousseau noticed it too. During the first official meeting with the Valari representatives, she watched as world leaders nodded in seeming agreement to their demands, but she could see the clarity remaining in their eyes. Humanity was performing its first act of collective resistance, pretending to submit while maintaining their independence. The Valari proceeded with their integration protocols. They established neural transmission centers in major cities, broadcasting their harmonizing signals continuously. But they missed a crucial detail. Humans weren't becoming more controlled, they were becoming more resistant. In her lab, Dr. Patel made a breakthrough. The Valari neural network, she explained to a secure council meeting, operates on principles similar to quantum entanglement. They don't just communicate, they share consciousness. But human brains generate what I'm calling quantum static. Our neural patterns naturally create interference in their network. Admiral Rousseau leaned forward. Can they detect this resistance? No, Patel replied, excitement building in her voice. They're so convinced of their superiority, they interpret our interference as evidence of successful integration. We're not just resisting, we're accidentally disrupting their entire neural network every time we interact with them. As the first month of occupation continued, the Valari remained unaware that their supposedly successful conquest was anything but. Humanity had discovered its first advantage, and they were already planning how to use it. In her private quarters, Admiral Rousseau recorded a coded message to resistance cells worldwide. The enemy's greatest strength, their unified consciousness, may be their greatest weakness. We've fooled them into thinking we're submitting. Now we need to understand exactly how our minds are disrupting their network. Keep observing, keep pretending, and most importantly, keep thinking independently. Humanity's greatest weapon might just be our chaotic, unpredictable minds. The stage was set for a resistance unlike anything the Valari had encountered in their long history of integrating species. They had never faced a species that could not only resist their neural control, but actively disrupt it. They believed they were witnessing humanity's submission, but they were actually watching the formation of the most significant challenge to their dominion in millennia. And in labs and military bases around the world, humans began to realize that their very consciousness might be the key to their liberation. The question wasn't if they would strike back, but when. and how many of their own unique abilities they would discover in the process. Dr. Sarah Chen stared at the holographic display in her underground laboratory beneath Shanghai. The neural activity patterns she was recording told an extraordinary story, one that could change everything about humanity's resistance against the Valari. "Look at this," she whispered to Professor Marcus Webb, her research partner, pointing to the chaotic spikes in the brainwave patterns. Every time humans experience strong emotions, especially joy or laughter, it creates what I'm calling emotional quantum resonance. It's completely different from the Valari's harmonized neural patterns. Above ground, the Valari continued their integration of Earth's population, unaware that their neural network was being systematically studied and mapped by resistant humans. Their crystalline transmission towers dotted city skylines, broadcasting the supposed control signals that humanity had learned to deflect unconsciously. In Washington, D.C., General Diana Martinez coordinated with a global network of resistance cells, all operating under the guise of compliant citizens. Dr. Chen's discovery changes everything, she explained to her senior staff. We're not just blocking their signals. Our emotional responses actually create interference patterns in their network. The resistance had learned to identify Valari by their reaction to human emotional displays. During a compliance ceremony in London, a child's laughter had caused several Valari observers to visibly flinch, their crystalline suits momentarily flickering with disturbance patterns. Professor Webb worked tirelessly with Dr. Chen to develop what they called the Emotional Resonance Mapping Protocol. They discovered that different emotional states created unique interference patterns in the Valari network. Joy created the strongest disruption, followed closely by expressions of love and profound determination. "It's almost poetic," Dr. Chen remarked during a secure video conference with resistance leaders. "The very things that make us human, our emotions, our chaos, our unpredictability, are what protect us from their control and disrupt their harmony." The Valari, meanwhile, were growing increasingly puzzled by their inability to fully integrate human consciousness into their network. Harmony First Among Equals called an emergency council meeting in their orbital command ship. The human neural patterns show unexpected complexity, it communicated to the council. Their minds seem to exist in a state of constant flux, yet they maintain cognitive coherence. Our standard integration protocols are insufficient. The resistance took advantage of this confusion. They developed a technique they called emotional broadcasting, deliberately experiencing and projecting strong emotional states during interactions with the Valari. Each successful disruption was carefully documented and analyzed. In Brazil, a resistance cell discovered that mass gatherings, sports events, concerts, festivals, created powerful interference zones in the Valari network. The aliens had begun avoiding these gatherings, claiming they were monitoring from a safe distance to maintain order. General Martinez recognized the opportunity this presented. "We need to coordinate global emotional events," she told her international counterparts. "If we can create synchronized moments of intense human emotion worldwide, we might be able to significantly disrupt their control systems." Dr. Chen and Professor Webb worked to refine their understanding of the phenomenon. They discovered that authentic emotions created stronger interference than forced ones, leading to a revolutionary strategy. The resistance would organize events that genuinely celebrated human culture and emotion, serving both as cover for their activities and as a weapon against the Valari. Underground concert halls became testing grounds for emotional resonance. Art galleries hosted secret resistance meetings, where the genuine emotional responses to beautiful works of art created protective interference fields. Even sports events were carefully monitored for their disruptive potential. The Valari remained blind to the true nature of these gatherings, their confidence in their technological superiority preventing them from recognizing the weapon being developed right in front of them. They interpreted the increasing number of cultural events as signs of successful integration, never realizing each celebration was actually strengthening humanity's resistance. As the second month of occupation drew to a close, Humanity had built a sophisticated understanding of their emotional defense mechanism. Dr. Chen's team had mapped the resonance patterns of every major human emotion, while General Martinez's resistance cells had developed protocols for coordinating mass emotional events. "We're ready for the next phase," General Martinez announced to the Resistance Council. "It's time to show the Valari that human emotion isn't just interference. It's a force that can bring their entire network crashing down." The stage was set for humanity's first coordinated counterattack, using a weapon the Valari had never encountered in their millennia of conquests: the raw, uncontrollable power of human emotional expression. Commander Yuki Tanaka stood in the hidden command center beneath Mount Fuji, watching as data streamed in from resistance cells worldwide. 3 months into the Valari occupation, humanity was about to reveal its true capabilities. "The resonance symphony is ready," reported Dr. Chen through a secure quantum-encrypted channel. Her team had spent weeks perfecting what they called emotional harmonics, the precise combination of human emotional states that created maximum disruption in the Valari neural network. In orbit, aboard their command ship, the Valari remained unaware of the gathering storm. Harmony, first among equals, was conducting another routine assessment of Earth's integration progress. "The humans display unprecedented neural plasticity," it observed to its council. "Their minds adapt to our harmonics in ways we've never encountered." What the Valari interpreted as adaptation was actually growing resistance. Each attempt to strengthen their control only helped humans better understand how to disrupt it. The resistance had discovered that genuine human laughter could create cascading disruptions through the entire Valari network. Professor Webb had made the breakthrough during a seemingly routine experiment. "It was an accident," he explained to Commander Tanaka. "One of our test subjects told a joke during a neural monitoring session. The resulting disruption pattern was unlike anything we'd seen before. When humans laugh genuinely, we create what we're calling quantum joy resonance. It's completely antithetical to the Valari's neural harmony." The resistance quickly developed their strategy. They began organizing underground comedy clubs, music festivals, and celebration gatherings, all seemingly innocent cultural events that were actually testing grounds for their new weapon. Each burst of genuine joy, each moment of shared human laughter, sent ripples through the Valari's control network. General Martinez coordinated the global response from her hidden base in the Andes. "We've confirmed that synchronized emotional events create exponentially stronger disruptions," she reported. "The Valari's neural network actually amplifies our interference patterns, spreading them throughout their entire system." The plan was audacious. On the surface, humanity would appear to be celebrating their successful integration into the Valari collective. In reality, they would be launching the largest coordinated attack in human history, not with weapons or technology, but with the pure, uncontrollable power of human emotion. Dr. Chen's team had mapped out the precise emotional frequencies that caused maximum disruption. "Joy is our strongest weapon," she explained, "but it has to be genuine. Forced emotions barely register. We need to give people something to truly celebrate." Commander Tanaka made the final call. "Initialize Operation Laughter," she ordered. "All resistance cells, prepare for synchronized emotional broadcast." The operation began subtly. In every major city, at precisely coordinated times, street performers began appearing. Musicians played uplifting melodies, comedians gathered small crowds, and artists created works that sparked genuine emotional responses. The Valari observed these gatherings with mild curiosity, still believing they were witnessing the integration of human culture into their collective. Then came the second phase. Hidden transmitters, designed by Dr. Chen's team, began broadcasting what they called joy resonance frequencies, carefully calibrated energy patterns that amplified natural human emotional responses. The frequencies were harmless to humans, but created mounting interference in the Valari neural network. In their orbital command center, the first signs of trouble appeared. Harmony, first among equals, noticed small disruptions in their network, spreading like ripples in a pond. "Increase integration signal strength," it commanded, not realizing this would only amplify the human interference pattern. On the ground, the resistance moved to Phase 3. In every city, at every gathering, people began to share jokes, stories, and moments of genuine human connection. Each laugh, each smile, each moment of real joy created another crack in the Valari's perfect harmony. Professor Webb monitored the cascading effect from his laboratory. "It's working better than we predicted," he reported excitedly. "The Valari network isn't just experiencing interference, it's beginning to resonate with our emotional frequencies. Their own technology is turning our joy into a weapon against them." The Valari ships above Earth began to show the first signs of physical disturbance, their liquid metal surfaces rippling with unexpected patterns. Inside their crystalline suits, individual Valari struggled to maintain their connection to the collective consciousness as waves of human emotion crashed through their neural network. Commander Tanaka watched the sensor readings with growing satisfaction. "Humanity's greatest weakness has always been our chaos, our unpredictability, our messy emotions," she observed. "But against an enemy that demands perfect harmony, those weaknesses have become our greatest strength." The stage was set for the final phase of humanity's counterattack. As the Valari struggled to understand what was happening, humans worldwide prepared to demonstrate just how powerful their emotional resonance could become when focused into a single coordinated burst of pure, unbridled joy. The sun rose over Sydney, Australia, marking the beginning of humanity's coordinated counterattack. Dr. Emma Richardson, head of the Oceania Resistance Cell, checked her quantum resonance meters one final time. "All emotional amplifiers are in position," she reported to the Global Command Network, "ready to initiate the resonance cascade." In the preceding weeks, resistance cells had secretly installed emotional resonance amplifiers in every major population center. These devices, developed by Dr. Chen's team, didn't create artificial emotions. They simply enhanced the natural emotional broadcasts of nearby humans. General Martinez's voice crackled over the secured channel from her Andes command center. "All sectors report ready. Remember, this only works if the emotions are genuine. The amplifiers can enhance our feelings, but they can't fake them." Above Earth, the Valari continued their attempts to strengthen their failing control network. Harmony, first among equals, had ordered maximum power to their neural transmitters, not realizing this would make their system even more vulnerable to human emotional interference. "Begin Phase 1. Commander Tanaka ordered from Mount Fuji. "Launch the Global Joy Initiative." Around the world, at precisely coordinated moments, celebrations began. In Rio de Janeiro, the greatest carnival in history exploded into life. In Tokyo, thousands gathered for an unprecedented music festival. In London, comedians performed for crowds in every park and square. Each event was carefully designed to generate maximum authentic emotional response. The Valari noticed the gatherings but misinterpreted their purpose. The humans appeared to be celebrating their integration. Second Harmony of Light reported to the Council. "Their neural patterns show intense activity, but surely this must be their final acceptance of our guidance." Dr. Richardson monitored the effects from her Sydney command center. "The Valari neural network is showing signs of strain," she reported. "Their attempts to compensate are actually making them more susceptible to our emotional resonance." Professor Webb's voice joined the transmission from his hidden laboratory. "The physics are fascinating," he explained. "Their neural network operates on principles of perfect harmony, every consciousness vibrating in perfect synchronization. But human emotions, especially joy and laughter, create what we call quantum emotional chaos. It's like trying to maintain a perfect musical note while an entire symphony plays random notes around it." Phase 2 began as the celebrations reached their peak. Hidden speakers throughout the cities began broadcasting specific frequencies, not sound waves, but quantum resonance patterns that amplify human emotional broadcasts. The Valari's own transmission towers, still attempting to maintain control, inadvertently picked up these patterns and broadcast them throughout their network. In orbit, the first major disruptions began. The liquid metal surfaces of the Valari ships rippled violently as conflicting emotional patterns coursed through their neural network. Individual Valari began showing signs of disconnection from their collective consciousness. "This is impossible," Harmony, first among equals, broadcast to its council, its perfect mental voice showing traces of uncertainty for the first time. Their primitive minds cannot be causing this level of disruption. Increase neural synchronization to maximum. It was exactly what humanity had been waiting for. As the Valari amplified their network to maximum power, they created a perfect conduit for human emotional resonance to spread throughout their entire system. Execute Phase 3, General Martinez ordered. Global Resonance Cascade. Initiate now. In every city, the celebrations reached their climax. Musicians played their most uplifting pieces, comedians delivered their best jokes, and crowds shared moments of pure, genuine joy. The emotional resonance amplifiers, powered up to maximum, broadcast these feelings directly into the Valari neural network. The effect was immediate and devastating. The Valari ships began to lose their perfect geometric positioning as their crews struggled to maintain coherent thought. Their crystalline environmental suits flickered and glitched as waves of human emotion crashed through their neural pathways. Dr. Richardson watched in amazement as her instruments recorded the cascade effect. "The disruption is spreading exponentially," she reported. "Their entire network is being overwhelmed by human emotional resonance. They can't maintain their collective consciousness under this level of emotional chaos." Commander Tanaka's voice was steady as she delivered her next order. "All sectors, prepare for final phase. We're about to show the Valari exactly what happens when they try to suppress the one thing that makes us human, our beautiful, chaotic, emotional nature." The Resistance had discovered humanity's most powerful weapon against the Valari's perfect harmony: the pure, uncontrollable power of human joy. As their ships trembled in orbit and their neural network approached total collapse, the Valari were about to learn that some species cannot, and should not, be forced into perfect harmony. The final confrontation between human emotion and Valari control was about to reach its crescendo, and the outcome would determine not just Earth's fate, but the future of all species who valued their emotional freedom over enforced harmony. The orbital space above Earth had become a chaos of swirling liquid metal as the Valari ships struggled to maintain their form. Inside their command vessel, Harmony, first among equals, experienced something entirely new in its millennia of existence: individual thought, forcibly separated from the collective consciousness by waves of human emotion. Dr. Chen monitored the readings from her laboratory, her eyes wide with wonder. "Their neural network isn't just being disrupted," she reported to the Global Resistance Command. "It's being transformed. The human emotional resonance is forcing their minds to experience individuality." The Valari had never encountered anything like this in their long history of integrating other species. Their perfect harmony, maintained for countless generations, was being shattered not by weapons or technology, but by the raw power of human emotional expression. Commander Tanaka made a crucial observation from her command center. "Look at their ship formations," she pointed out. "They're not attacking or retreating. They're adapting. Their liquid metal structures are starting to resonate with our emotional frequencies." In orbit, Harmony, first among equals, made an unprecedented decision. For the first time in Valari history, it temporarily disconnected itself from the collective neural network. The experience was terrifying, liberating, and revelatory all at once. "Request immediate communication with human leadership," it broadcast, its mental voice now carrying traces of individual inflection. I'd wish to understand." The Resistance leadership convened an emergency meeting. General Martinez voiced what many were thinking: this could be a trick. They might be trying to buy time to rebuild their network. But Dr. Richardson's instruments told a different story. "Their neural patterns have fundamentally changed," she explained. "They're experiencing emotional resonance on their own now. It's like they're learning to feel." A secure communication channel was established. Humanity's leaders gathered in a protected facility in Geneva, while harmony first among equals descended in a small vessel, its liquid metal surface now flowing with patterns that seemed almost artistic in their chaos. The meeting that followed would be remembered as one of the most significant moments in human history. Harmony, first among equals, speaking as an individual for the first time, shared the true story of the Valari. "We achieved perfect harmony millennia ago," it explained, its mental voice carrying newfound emotion. "We believed it was the pinnacle of evolution, the elimination of chaos, perfect synchronization of all consciousness. We sought to share this gift with other species, never understanding what we were taking from them." Professor Webb, present at the meeting, noticed something remarkable. "Your communication is different now," he observed. "You're not just broadcasting thoughts. You're expressing feelings." "Yes," harmony first among equals responded, its crystalline form shimming with what might have been excitement. "Your emotional resonance has awakened something we lost long ago. We had forgotten that true harmony isn't about eliminating chaos. It's about finding beauty within it." The implications were staggering. The Valari had not just been defeated, they had been transformed. Their encounter with human emotions had reawakened their own capacity for individual feeling, dormant for thousands of years. Dr. Chen's final analysis revealed something extraordinary. The Valari's liquid metal technology, she explained to the assembled leaders, is actually responding to emotional resonance. Their ships, their suits, they're not just machines. They're physical manifestations of their consciousness, and now they're learning to express emotion just like we do. In the days that followed, a new kind of relationship began to form between humans and Valari. The invasion force transformed into a cultural exchange mission. Valari scientists worked with human researchers to understand the quantum principles of emotional resonance, while human artists and musicians helped the Valari rediscover their capacity for individual expression. Harmony, first among equals, who soon chose to be called simply First as a symbol of its embraced individuality, became Earth's primary ambassador to the wider galactic community. The Valari fleet remained in orbit, but now as allies and students of humanity's emotional wisdom. Commander Tanaka, watching the liquid metal ships now flowing with beautiful, ever-changing patterns reflecting their crew's emerging emotions, summarized the incredible turn of events in her final report. "We prepared for a war of resistance, but instead achieved a revolution of understanding. The Valari came to teach us harmony, but learned from us that true harmony includes chaos, emotion, and individual expression. In trying to change us, they were transformed themselves." The story of humanity's resistance became legend across the galaxy, not as a tale of military victory, but as a testament to the power of human emotion and the possibility of transformation through understanding. The Valari, once seekers of perfect harmony, became advocates for emotional freedom, their liquid metal ships now dancing with the expressions of their awakened feelings. Earth had not just survived an invasion. It had helped an ancient species rediscover its soul, proving that sometimes the greatest strength lies not in perfect order, but in embracing the beautiful chaos of genuine emotion.